There's a strange moment in life when you realize you weren't really stuck because reality hated you. You weren't stuck because the universe forgot your name or because other people had some secret key you were never given. Most of the time, the door in front of you wasn't locked. It was just waiting for the right signal. Not louder effort, not more desperation, not another night of overthinking everything until your mind feels like a room with too many lights on. Just the right signal. And that signal usually begins with something simple, a sentence, a declaration, a quiet inner decision that sounds almost too small to matter. Something like, "This is already becoming mine," or "I'm ready to meet this differently now," or even, "I no longer speak against the life I'm asking for." Say that slowly, because there's weight in it. A lot of people ask for a new reality while still describing themselves with the language of the old one. They want peace, but they keep calling life a battle. They want abundance, but every conversation becomes proof of lack. They want love, but deep down, they're still rehearsing rejection before anyone even arrives. Words are funny like that. They seem harmless because they disappear the second you say them. You can't hold a sentence in your hand. You can't put it on a table and weigh it. But somehow, words enter the body. They settle into the nervous system. They paint pictures inside the mind. They tell your posture what to do, tell your voice how to sound, tell your eyes whether to look forward or look down. And before you know it, reality starts responding not just to what you want, but to what you keep communicating, to others, to yourself. And yes, to that invisible field around you that's always listening in a way the mind can't fully explain. Most people think communication means talking. That's the first little trap. Talking is just the surface. It's the cup. The real drink is everything behind it. Your tone, your breathing, your shoulders, your timing, the tiny hesitation before you answer, the way your face tightens when you say you're fine, even though nothing inside you feels fine. Communication is never only the sentence. Communication is the entire atmosphere you bring into the room. You've probably felt this before. Someone tells you, "Don't worry, I'm happy for you." But something in their voice doesn't sit right. Nothing dramatic, no obvious insult. Still, your body knows. Something feels sideways. Or someone says, "I believe in myself," but their whole presence looks like it's apologizing for existing. Their back caves in, their eyes keep searching the floor, their voice becomes smaller than the words they're speaking. And without meaning to, they send two messages at once. One message says confidence, the deeper message says fear. Guess which one people usually believe? Reality works with that deeper message too. Not because it's cruel, more like because it's honest. Life doesn't only respond to the polished sentence you say in the morning while trying to be positive. It responds to the emotional signature you keep carrying all day. You can write beautiful affirmations in a notebook, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. But if 5 minutes later you're telling everyone, "Nothing ever works for me," then you're not planting one seed. You're planting two opposite seeds in the same soil and wondering why the garden looks confused. A person can say, "I'm ready for a better life," but if the inner voice keeps whispering, "Who are you kidding?" then communication has noise in it. Not noise like traffic outside your window, more like static on an old radio. The station is there, the music is there, but the signal keeps breaking. And when the signal breaks, the message can't arrive cleanly, not to the people around you, not to your own heart, not to the universe, God, life, the field, existence, whatever word feels closest to what you sense when the room is quiet and something larger seems to breathe with you. So the real question becomes uncomfortable, but in a good way. What are you actually saying? Not just out loud. What are you saying with your energy when opportunity gets close? What are you saying to yourself when nobody's watching? What are you saying to life when you pray for change, then spend the rest of the day speaking like change is impossible? No shame in seeing it, really. Everyone has done this. Everyone has asked for a door while calling themselves trapped. But awareness is where the shift begins, because once you hear the noise, you can stop mistaking it for truth. There's an old word people usually treat like a joke, abracadabra. It gets thrown into cartoons, magic tricks, Little moments where someone waves a hand and pretends something impossible just happened. But buried inside that word is a serious idea. One of its deeper meanings has been understood as, I create as I speak. Sit with that for a second. Not I describe as I speak, not I complain as I speak, I create as I speak. Ancient people understood something modern people often forget, while rushing through life with headphones in and 10 tabs open in the mind. Speech is not passive. Speech gives shape. Of course, that doesn't mean every random sentence instantly becomes a physical object in front of you. Life isn't a vending machine where you whisper mansion and one drops from the sky. That kind of thinking makes the whole thing sound silly, and maybe that's why so many people dismiss the power of words completely. The deeper truth is more subtle. Words train perception. Perception guides emotion. Emotion influences behavior. Behavior changes the path you walk. And somewhere through all of that, reality begins to rearrange itself around the identity you keep speaking from. Say, I'm always late, often enough, and your mind starts treating lateness like a personality trait instead of a habit. Say, I'm terrible with money, often enough, and the brain begins filtering life through that expectation. Say, people always leave, and even love starts looking suspicious before it has a chance to prove itself safe. A sentence repeated with emotion becomes more than a sentence. It becomes a groove, a path in wet earth. The more you walk it, the easier it becomes to walk it again. And after a while, you don't even notice you're choosing it. You just call it how life is. Ancient scripture says, in the beginning was the Word. Whether someone reads that religiously, mystically, poetically or symbolically, the message reaches deep. Before form there is expression. Before manifestation there is communication. Before a house is built, someone says, here. Before a relationship begins, someone opens their mouth, opens their body, opens their presence. Before a new self appears, the old self has to stop being described as permanent. Creation begins when the invisible receives a clear instruction. And here's where it gets personal. The moment you say, I no longer speak against the life I'm becoming, something shifts. Maybe not with thunder, maybe not with a dramatic sign from the sky. More often, it shifts quietly. You catch yourself before saying the old sentence. You stop calling your dream unrealistic just to make other people comfortable. You notice when your body is communicating fear, and instead of attacking yourself for it, you breathe, straighten gently, and come back. That's not fake confidence. That's alignment beginning to form. Most people communicate from the reality they're trying to escape. That's why their words feel heavy. They walk into a conversation carrying yesterday's disappointment, last year's rejection, the fear of being misunderstood, the memory of every time something didn't work out. Then they try to speak a new outcome into existence from inside an old atmosphere. No wonder it feels hard. It's like trying to light a candle in the rain while pretending the weather doesn't matter. A better way is softer, but more powerful. Before you enter the moment, enter the result. Not in a tense, controlling way. Not with that tight feeling of, this must happen exactly how I want or everything is ruined. That's not alignment. That's pressure wearing spiritual clothes. Real alignment feels cleaner. You pause before the conversation, before the meeting, before sending the message, before looking in the mirror even, and you ask, what quality do I want to bring into this? What version of me belongs to the outcome I desire? Calm, honest, open, clear, loving, decisive? Then you let the body rehearse the energy before the world meets it. Imagine someone walking into a difficult conversation after taking 2 minutes to breathe, feel their feet on the ground, and see the exchange ending with respect instead of conflict. Same conversation, different field, same words maybe, but a different person is speaking them now. Or imagine someone preparing for a creative opportunity. Before they show up, they stop feeding the old fear of being judged. They picture the room receiving them warmly. They choose clothes that make them feel like they belong there. They let the spine remember dignity. Small things, yes, but small hinges move big doors. Presence matters here, a lot. You can't align your communication while your mind is running 3 years into the future or dragging a suitcase from the past. The present moment is where your signal becomes clear. Watch your hands, notice your voice, feel your jaw. Listen to the words you choose. Are you speaking as someone asking permission to exist, or as someone willing to meet life directly? Are you dressing, moving, and responding in agreement with your desire? Or are you still performing the identity of the person who expects to be overlooked? None of this means pretending. Pretending is noisy. The soul can hear it. Other people can feel it too, even when they don't know what they're feeling. Alignment is not lying to yourself. Alignment is choosing which truth gets the microphone. Fear may be present, but it doesn't have to lead. Doubt may knock, but it doesn't need to sit at the head of the table. You're allowed to say, "Yes, I'm nervous, but I'm still available for this blessing." You're allowed to say, "A part of me is scared, but a deeper part of me is ready." Those sentences don't deny reality, they reorganize it. A word spoken from the mouth alone is weak. Not useless, but weak. It's like a letter with no address. Nice paper, good handwriting, nowhere to go. The word becomes powerful when the soul signs it. When your thoughts, emotions, communication, and actions begin moving in the same direction, your life stops feeling like a committee where everyone is arguing over the map. Something settles. You become easier to read, not because you're simple, but because you're coherent. Think about the difference between hope and desperation. Both can use the same sentence. I know things are changing. One person says it with a quiet trust that has roots. Another says it with panic underneath, like they're begging reality not to abandon them. Same words, different weather. The first one creates space. The second one creates pressure. And again, no judgment here. Desperation usually comes from pain. It comes from being tired. It comes from wanting relief so badly that the soul starts grabbing at life with both hands. But manifestation doesn't respond well to grabbing. People don't either. Love doesn't. Opportunity doesn't. Even the body tightens when held too hard. So the work becomes gentle cleaning. Cleaning the inner conversation. Cleaning the daily speech. Cleaning the contradiction between what you ask for and what you keep declaring. Not perfectly, please, not perfectly. Perfection becomes another prison if you're not careful. You're not trying to become a robot who never says a negative word. You're becoming someone who notices, someone who can catch the sentence mid-air and choose again. Nothing works for me becomes, I'm learning how to work with life differently. I never get chosen becomes, I'm becoming visible to what's meant for me. Money is impossible becomes, I'm willing to build a new relationship with receiving. Can you feel the difference? One sentence closes the room. The other opens a window. One makes the body shrink. The other gives the nervous system a little more air. And that little more air matters because your reality is not only built in huge dramatic moments. It's built in the small sentences you repeat while making breakfast, while checking your phone, while getting ready, while remembering the past, while imagining the future. Life listens to the language you live in. A person whose inner world says one thing, mouth says another, and actions say a third will always feel divided, scattered, like a song played by instruments that never tune together. But when belief, emotion, communication, and behavior begin to align, personal magnetism appears naturally. Not the fake kind, where someone tries too hard to seem powerful. Real magnetism is quieter. You feel it in people who don't need to convince the room they belong. Their words land because something behind the words is already standing.